Hello, welcome back to Hunter Tune. Today I just wanted to film an update for you guys on all the projects that I have going on and what I want to do and what I want to get accomplished and what I maybe want to get rid of. So you guys know in a couple of last videos I've been doing my Turbo Miata project, and for now I feel like I would like to keep that car around and just drive it and possibly ice race it. That's kind of one of the reasons I built the car, was to go ice racing with it, and I still have my studded tires from all my Hondas that I use, and they are right here. So possibly keep the Miata around, ice race it, and you know, who knows from there. Maybe if we blow it up, we'll build it. Otherwise, maybe down the road, a couple months from now, I'll get rid of it. Who knows? But for now, I would like to keep the Miata around and just drive it and have fun. Next up on the list is this Integra that I picked up. I actually bought a Acura TL a while ago, and it needed a clutch and some motor mounts and stuff like that. I ended up fixing that car up and didn't really film any of it, honestly. And I just kind of fixed it and flipped it, you could say. So I fixed it and didn't really have a ton of money into it, and I sold it, or traded it, for this Integra here. So this Integra is actually very clean. It's not very clean, it's pretty clean. It's not the cleanest thing in the world, but it is fairly clean for a Wisconsin tag. It needs some things like exhaust work, you know, because the hangers are all broke off and it leaks like in 100 different places, and the welds on the exhaust are kind of shitty. So I was thinking about just welding the exhaust on this and fixing, you know, all the exhaust work with the car. Now, I have tempted or thought about turbocharging this car. It is a stock B18 B1, and I do still have some Honda parts laying around. I have a couple transmissions, a couple cylinder heads, and some rods and pistons too. So I mean, it is possible that I would think about you know, maybe turbocharging this Integra, just because I haven't had an Integra in a really long time, and personally it's like the classier Civic. So I picked this car up and it's already B series and it's kind of ready to get turboed, but I don't know how many turbo Hondas that I can build. I'm, like I said, guys, I'm kind of really stuck on doing the turbo LS stuff now, and I really enjoy turbo LS cars and drag racing a lot more than Hondas, but I still have a soft spot for them in my heart, and I do want to build another one. I just don't know how I really want to go about it. So this car is kind of just sitting here for now. I don't know, like I said, what I'm really going to do yet. You guys can comment down below what you want to see, and by all means, I'll listen to it. Next up is this Cutlass. We are actually working on this Cutlass for a customer. It has been here for a little while, and the guy just dropped it off and pretty much gave me the winter to finish it up. It is a junkyard LS, bone stock engine with a CX Racing turbo kit. And you can see that the turbo kit kind of just runs around to the turbo, and he just wants me to finish this car up. It needs a lot of stuff: wiring, injectors, fuel system, you name it, it needs it. So we're going to be just taking our time with this one, so it may be in the background of some videos and whatnot, but this is a car that I'm doing for a customer, and we've kind of just been taking our time with it. Just because I've been so busy moving and all that kind of stuff that you guys saw in the last video. But yeah, that's just a project that we're going to be doing soon-ish, but yeah. And then we have another Cutlass here. This one's actually mine. I got like $200 into this car right now. Oh, let me get this bumper out of here. So this car is my own personal Cutlass, and we actually yanked out the engine and transmission in one of the earlier videos here, and we got the engine and trans out of it, but we haven't really went much further with it since then. It kind of came off of the hoist, and now here it sits. So I was thinking about possibly selling this car just because we are doing another Cutlass for a guy, or possibly keeping it just to put an LS in and flip it, because if I only have $200 into this car, I could probably put a junkyard LS in it with who knows what transmission and just kind of sell it for a couple grand and make a little bit of money that way. That was an option with this car, or just sell it as a roller, because my last Cutlass that I had, I think I got 1,200 bucks just for the roller. So I probably could make money on it either way. It just depends on what kind of content you guys want to see. If the Cutlass interests you guys or not, these are probably one of the easiest cars to LS swap in my opinion. They're actually very easy to LS swap, so it is an option that I'm throwing out there. Next is my Mustang. I'm really hoping to get on this car very soon. You guys saw in the last video I was kind of complaining about how the engine machinist and the machine shop has just been taking forever. Literally, I bug the guy every week, and you know, he just says he's going to get to it when he can, but it's been 3 months since I dropped the motor off, and it's still there. So I'm debating on taking it to a different machine shop if it doesn't get done soon. I dropped all the stuff off, and he got the cylinder heads done next day. So the cylinder heads are ready to go. I have a set of valve springs here from Tick Performance ready to go in those heads. I just got to get push rods and a cam, and this thing is pretty much ready to go back together, other than maybe a trunnion upgrade for the rockers. But this engine for the new car is pretty much ready to go, besides just waiting on the machine shop. Honestly, guys, I have a built 400 right here with the same, it's pretty much the same transmission that was in the Chev Stang. It's got a TCI trans brake, and it's just got beefed up internals. And I actually got a Jags XHD torque converter. I kind of skimped out on the converter because, if you guys have been following for a while, the converter in my Mustang was a little bit on the tight side, and it was like triple or quadruple the price of this converter, and guys are going mid-8s with this converter, and I know it'll work well, and hopefully get this car to 60 foot even better than the Chev Stang, because I feel like the Chev Stang was limited on the 60 foot without good prep because it had such a tight converter in it, and I couldn't really spool a decent sized turbo and everything like that. So that's kind of went with that converter. But anyways, I'm just kind of rolling through here, showing you all the projects, and like I said, what the plans are and what we're gonna do from here, because I have this like newfound motivation to just reorganize and regroup for some new plans of attack, because this whole summer has been extremely stressful, obviously with the COVID going around and everything like that, plus with the new shop and the new dyno, and how busy I was this summer. It's just been stressful, to say the least. I've had zero time to do any of my own stuff, and this winter I really want to focus on doing a lot of my own stuff and getting back to filming a lot more, and focusing more of my attention and business towards my website. So hopefully soon you guys will see some more updates with huntertune.com. But yeah, still doing dyno tuning here and there, but it's just a lot of the cars that have came in over the summer have been like, you know, I need a dyno tune, and then it comes on the dyno and it's here for a week because it needed a whole ton of other stuff. And it just got to me towards the end of the year here, it just got to me to the point where it's just a lot to do. It's a lot to manage, especially doing all the other stuff I do behind the scenes other than dyno tuning and fixing cars. It's just, you know, a lot to do. I'm complaining, but whatever. There is a K-Series block over here that I've had for a while. I've actually had this block posted for 50 bucks for over a month now. This is actually Michael's old block he was going to use, but he doesn't have any desire to build it anymore. So he pretty much just gave it to me because it's been sitting here for so long. He just said I could have it. So I figured I'm going to sell it because I don't really have any intention in the current future to get rid of or to build a K-Series, but if it doesn't sell, honestly, maybe I'll just stuff it in the corner like it's been sitting for the last couple years. There's some of my Honda heads, like I was telling you guys. We have some stuff over here for Christian's S10. If you guys know, we did have plans on LS swapping his S10, and we've had dates picked out to do stuff, and you know, just kind of plans to do everything, but he's just been busy and just clearly not motivated to do a lot of the stuff lately, just because obviously this year just sucks for everybody. I know myself personally, you know, it's hard to find motivation some days, especially this year in particular. But yeah, anyways, his stuff's been sitting here kind of waiting, you know, for the last at least 6 months or so. It's just been sitting here waiting on him to decide what he wants to do or whatnot. This is one of my plans, is if he didn't want to do the S10 anymore, I was thinking about maybe buying the engine and all of his stuff off of him to use into the Cutlass. That was an option. So, but we do have a transmission ready to go, converter, engine, wiring harness, everything really, shifter, fuel system, you name it, it's all kind of here. So anyways, transmission for the new Mustang is right there. And then if we go outside, I can show you even more stuff that we have going on and what I want to get rid of and what my plans were initially. But problem with me, guys, a lot of time is if I get a deal on something, I just buy it to buy it, because I know either A, I can make money on it, like if I resell the car, or if you know, I can use parts off of it or something like that. I just buy it a lot of the times just to buy it. And you know, if I know I can come out ahead at the end of the day, I have no problem buying something. So I posted on Facebook a lot in the past regarding, like, you know, buying fixer-uppers or buying you know, people's project cars. And I buy them, I fix them up, and then I sell them. So that's kind of what I've been doing, you know, on top of dyno tuning and my website and everything like that. And one of those purchases was this Cavalier. And I actually am very happy that I bought this Cavalier, because clearly the videos have struck some interest, and I am actually going to be building this Cavalier soon. We're going to do kind of like a junkyard setup with it, probably just junkyard turbo LS with turbo 400 transmission or turbo 350, since it came with that. But since we made those two videos with the car on the dyno and just kind of showing you the car, we did rip the engine and transmission out of it, and the engine is actually sold. I sold the little small block for 500 bucks, and I have the transmission still sitting. So I pretty much have 1,500 bucks into a rear wheel drive Cavalier that we can put an LS into. So that is one of the projects that I am going to be doing. I just am gathering parts still and kind of debating which route to go with and everything like that. So, but this car does have the majority of this stuff already pretty much ready to go, like the shifters here, drive shafts here. It's got the rear end already, radiator. I mean, literally, I just got to get an engine, which I think I have already, and figure out what I want to do with the transmission, whether I want to run a 400 or the 350 tranny, and figure everything out from there. And then obviously probably get a Holley Terminator for it, just because by the time I buy gauges, you know, coolant temp gauge, boost gauge, wideband, all that kind of stuff, I'll have $500 in gauges and still not have an ECU or wiring harness. That's why the Holley Terminator is a really good option for a lot of guys, because you don't have to buy any gauges. It comes with the dash, and it comes with everything you need for $1,000 or $1,200 bucks, whatever it is. So it's realistically just the best option you can do, in my opinion. Unless you have an already LS vehicle, like a truck or something like that, it is just the best option. So this Civic is also here. This was a customer car that got dropped off that needed a ton of stuff. We got it all up and running. Everything was good to go. And then when we went to go dyno tune the car, we tried pulling the car off the lift. We tried pulling the car off of the lift. After we put everything together, we got it up and running great. We tested everything, and the last step before we put it on the dyno was we just needed to bleed the clutch. So we tried bleeding the clutch, and the slave cylinder actually pushed out of the mounting spot, and it started leaking fluid all over. So I was like, oh, maybe it's just got a bad slave cylinder or something like that. But that's not the case with this car, guys. So when this guy dropped this thing off, it was already assembled, but the guy that assembled the transmission onto the engine forgot to put the throwout bearing in. So I was failed to be notified of that, and you know, I just told the guy it's going to be a little while because I'm in the process of moving and everything like that. If he still wanted me to do it, I would, but it's one of them things where I'm kind of taking my time with it because I'm a little frustrated with it, just because we could have had this alleviated had I have known that initially. So it will be on the dyno soon enough, but that's just another one of the projects that we have going on, is I have to take everything off that we just put on, just to put a throw bearing in, and then reassemble everything again to actually dyno tune it. So this is another vehicle that I had picked up quite a while ago. I actually I built a truck with the cam, valve springs, and just kind of built an all-motor tow rig. And I ended up just kind of not liking the truck, and I wanted to get a diesel, which I actually got now. So I'm super happy with my diesel. It pulls my big 24-foot enclosed trailer a hell of a lot better than my gas truck did. So I ended up just trading the gas truck plus cash for this regular cab short box truck that is a little bit beat up. So I did get this truck just kind of for plans to, you know, build another turbo truck. And this truck, it definitely needs some love. It's not perfect by any means, and I just don't know how I feel about it. It needs some suspension stuff like a C-notch because they lowered it without notching the frame, and just little odds and ends things. And I just don't know if I have the ambition to build another truck. I've done countless trucks already, and I just don't know if it's really in the cards right now for me to want to build a truck. Like I said, I just kind of bought it, or I traded, because, you know, it's just a way to get out of the vehicle that I was in, to get something else. It's just kind of a thing that I do, and sometimes it's a problem because you just, you know, you end up with a bunch of junk. Not saying this truck's junk, because it's really not. We've put a lot of miles on it. I've helped a couple people move, and you know, it's just kind of been a scrap truck, just to kind of run around with and haul garbage to the dump or whatever. That's kind of what we've used it for. It's not the cleanest thing in the world, and it definitely needs some attention. The bed is mismatched, and it is banged up quite a bit. Not this side so much, but the other side's got quite a bit of weathering, you could say. And the interior of this truck is also missing, like the headliner and everything like that. It has no exhaust on it currently because we were going to turbo it, so I figured I'll cut the converters off and get some money for those, which I did already. And yeah, it's just kind of been sitting here, open header. So that's another project that I've been dealing with or thinking about doing. Sorry if it's windy. I don't know how this camera is with wind noise yet, so we'll find out, I suppose. This is another rig that I bought. I really couldn't pass this car up. I bought it for pretty much scrap price, and it runs and drives. It just needs some attention. I had to put a battery in it, and it's got some misfiring going on at high RPM. So whenever you like actually put a heavy load on it, say more than like quarter throttle, it starts to misfire and sputter. And it's only got 125,000 miles on it, but I think it's got the original spark plugs in it yet. So that's another project that I got going on around here. Is this Explorer needs to get tune-up. So I'm gonna have to check out why it's misfiring, whether it's injectors or spark plugs or coils or whatever the case is. I have to tackle this and get into doing that. But hopefully when I'm all done with it, I'll make some money and be able to sell it to somebody that needs a good winter car, because it is all-wheel drive. And you know, coming up on winter here, I'm sure somebody will be glad to pay me for a good running all-wheel drive vehicle with leather seats, and it's actually a pretty decent car. This truck here is the Trapper. If you guys don't know about the Trapper, this was actually the first vehicle that we ever put on the chassis dyno when I got it. And this truck has been a workhorse, to say the least, for Hunter Tuned over the summer here, and you know, honestly early spring last year even. It's just been a workhorse. I've used it to haul my little car trailer. If you guys saw it over by that blue Civic, I have this truck kind of purposed just to pull that trailer, because that trailer is actually really low to the ground, and it's really good at pulling lowered vehicles. I can get cars with airbags slammed almost all the way to the ground on that trailer without scraping. So that is kind of the reason why I still have the Trapper. The Trapper truck, it's just a regular cab long bed Silverado with a 4.8 liter. It is a little bit rusty, otherwise I'd probably turbo it, but the frame has a spot where it's kind of just been eaten away a little bit. It's not unsafe or anything, but it's definitely not something where I'd really feel comfortable going 160 mile an hour in. But I mean, who knows, maybe we could weld up a patch on the frame and fix the little soft spot that it's got and move on from there. Otherwise, I was thinking about selling it because I did pick up, I feel like a hoarder, honestly, guys. Like, this is kind of ridiculous, but this has kind of been all summer thing. It hasn't been just like recent. But like I said, the Trapper is a great rig. It runs great, and it's pulled cars across the state multiple times for me and a couple buddies. So like I said, and this truck just works really well with that little trailer. We've pulled full-size trucks with this truck and my little car trailer before, and it's just a workhorse. So that's why I have a hard time getting rid of it, because it does come in handy sometimes when I need it. But then again, how often do I use it? I don't know, maybe once every other week. It's not super convenient. I don't really need it, because I picked up another truck. So this truck I bought because it has a snowplow. And if you guys know, I live in Wisconsin here, so this was just an option for me to have, possibly if, you know, say I wanted to start making some more money. I figured I'd buy a plow truck and get the, you know, proper commercial insurance and everything like that to be able to go plow businesses in the winter time. So that was an option where I bought this truck, and the main reason why I bought this truck behind me is because it has a snowplow, and because you guys do enjoy the ice racing content, and I would love to actually bring ice racing to my city and be able to have an event. I want to be able to maintain a drag strip on the ice and maintain racetracks on the ice and be able to have people come out and have fun. That's kind of my goal, but I never had a plow truck of my own to be able to do that stuff. So I figured I bought this truck literally for that purpose. And I said, well, it'd kind of be silly just to buy a plow truck just for that. But, you know, at the end of the day, if I gotta sell it, I'll get my money back, kind of thing. Yeah, so we obviously would like to go ice racing very soon, whenever it gets cold here in Wisconsin, probably coming up here pretty soon, and it'll start snowing. And when it snows, you got to clear off the racetrack, because when you're ice racing, glare ice is usually the best traction, with studded tires, obviously. If there's any snow on the track, the studs don't bite as good. So just to have this as a truck to do that with is honestly kind of why I bought it. But I figured since I have this truck, it can do two purposes. It can do the Trapper's job of hauling cars if I need to, and I don't want to do with my Duramax, because my Duramax is kind of my daily, or it's been my daily driver, and I bought the Duramax to haul my big trailer to go to the drag races with. So like I said, I was thinking about just getting rid of this truck and that truck and this Explorer, just clear up these cars right here, because this one can do all the jobs of this one plus some, because it has a plow. And this one honestly runs better than that one, and it's got leather interior, and it's got heated seats, and yeah, it's a good truck. So very excited to be able to go snow plowing very soon. So anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was a little bit long, but I wanted to give you an update on what's all been going on, and there's probably more stuff to talk about, but figure you guys can get up to speed with what's been going on and what I've been doing. And I miss just kind of talking with you guys. It's kind of what a lot of you watch my channel for. You kind of enjoy the Blabby McBlabberson, as I call myself. So anyways, guys, have a great night and a better tomorrow. We'll see you later.